I will say that when you come on the pod, or even when I just get to hang with you, I laugh myself sick. I'm sore from laughing at the stuff you do, and it's so much fun to be around you, whether we're recording it or not. And I'm remembering now, I had this party at my house, and you showed up, and we hadn't even greeted each other yet. There's a bunch of people there at some holiday party, and you show up over my shoulder, and you're I want to remember this right, a Germanic guy from the late 19th century who you immediately said this, you laid it out immediately, and I knew exactly what it was, but you just came up to me and you'll remember what it was, I think, but a guy from the late 19th century in Germany who had fought me in a duel over a woman and lost, but now you're putting a brave face on, and your arm doesn't work because of the dueling, and you walk up to me and you were congratulating me on my house and my wife and trying to put a brave face on it all, but seething with resentment.
Yeah, very nice, O'Brien. And it seems like you've done very well for yourself, O'Brien. I see. And you would say, "Oh, this is my son," and I go, you have a son."
Yeah. With the woman that you loved.
Yeah, it's like, very well. I see. Well, I appreciated the invite, O'Brien. I must say I was quite surprised to get it. And you were like, well, it's nice that I think you said, it was nice that you drove here. I go, flew. I flew here. Right. But yeah, you could try to take that as long as you can, and then, eventually someone's like, will you guys please stop?
Well, that is the nature of this world we're in.
Yeah, please stop that.
But I was so happy because, rather than, oh, hey, thanks for having me over. Place looks great. This is a really good ham. It's someone I fought in a duel in Germany, and I maimed, and I won the woman that he loved, and he's putting a good face on it.
Yeah, I was.
Very stiff upper lip.
Yeah, very, and immediately, stoic and maimed.
How long did it take you to get all that exposition out?
No, it happened immediately.
No exposition. I think he just turned around and was like, well, very good, O'Brien. I see you've got a very nice house here. And he went, I surprised, I was like, yes, I was very surprised to get the invitation, O'Brien.
Yeah. And then I think you mentioned since our duel,
it
all came out very quickly.
And then it was like, someone would hand you something. I'm like, this is the only arm that works, dear. Thank you very much. I would love a tuna stick or whatever it is.
And it's just, I don't know.
I just was laughing, but you know who likes those bits, the old school bits like that at those parties is Larry David.
Yeah, he does.
And oh my God, when you get him laughing, he really gives it up. It's like surprising when people go, what's Larry David like? I'm like, he is a laugher.
With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. That's huge. I need pre-portioned.
I know, me too.
Because my portions are out of control.
Yeah, I get too much of something and then it just goes bad and starts rotting.
Yeah, well, you should learn to use the refrigerator. Anyway, skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and get this, affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit! ! Now, Sona, you've used HelloFresh.
I have used HelloFresh.
And you've cooked up some nice meals for Tack. That's your husband.
Yes, I have. And you know what I like about it is that it does come all in one box. It's stuff I would never normally cook on my own. Mm-hmm. And they have everything you could possibly need in the box.
You know when you're making a recipe and it's like, I'm going to make clams Alfredo.
Yeah.
And you've got everything. And then you get to the very end, I don't have the clams.
Oh, no.
That's the worst. Well, that doesn't happen with HelloFresh.
Clams Alfredo.
I know. Go to HelloFresh.com/TeamCoco16. Use code TeamCoco16 for 16 free meals plus free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com/TeamCoco16. America's #1 meal kit.
He laughs so hard at stuff.
Yeah, also, have you noticed that when Larry laughs, his jaw goes like a skeleton, like ha 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 ha. It's like if you just started yanking on the cord of a ventriloquist dummy up and down. Da, 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 da. That's his laugh, and it's kind of crazy. But because his character is such a crank, you don't get to see him lose it. But I had an experience where Dana Carvey famously does this thing that I absolutely love.
We both are obsessed with it.
We're both obsessed with it. And he's done it here, I believe, where he's Jimmy Stewart and he's in a car with Katharine Hepburn. He's trying to talk her into pleasuring him. But he also has very specific needs about how I want you to act surprised when I take it out, but not too surprised. And he's very bossy about it. And you're crying when you hear it. So Larry, I'm talking to Larry and I do it for him. I said, this is Dana's thing. And I do it for him. And he was laughing as hard as I've seen him laugh.
He was going to die.
Because his jaw was, and so then I see him a couple of days later, I run into him and he went, oh my God, I was at this party and Bill Hader did Dana's thing, and it's the hardest I've laughed. And I said, fuck you, Larry.
No.
That wasn't a party. That was my party. And I I was doing it for you. And he was like, well, it seemed like Hader. It was really funny.
No, I think what happened was that you do the Jimmy Stewart thing, and the thing I do of Dana's, which again is a Dana bit, is the Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas having sex.
Yes.
And that's what I was doing. And so when I would do that, which again is Dana's bit.
We're all doing Dana's bit.
It's all doing Dana's bit. But when Dana Carvey did that for me once, and I fell on the ground. I was, well, just a couple of fellas. Yeah.
Please, just a little more. Please.
Like, don't worry now. Yeah. And I think, I want you to take it slow. I want you to. And then the line that I always remember was, "Don't buck around now. I don't have a lot of play down there." And it is an old Dana Carvey bit, but when he did that, when he hosted when I was a cast member at SNL, and when he hosted, it did become a thing where I would just ask him, well, could you do this? Or you could, I was just following him around like, a puppy dog. I was doing all the stuff that, asking about, Phil Hartman stories and, everything, that was the thing.
Well, he is, fortunately, that nice combo of one of the funniest people ever and also incredibly nice.
Unbelievably
kind. And probably to a fault people pleaser. But we took Dana out to lunch. We were here at the studios, and then we did something, and then we went next door to get lunch, and a couple of writers came along. He put on a show for the writers, and it very naturally, but just was going through all kinds of stuff, and he was doing Henry Fonda.
Oh.
And it was so funny, and afterwards the writers were thinking, there's that dynamic that you hear about where the comedian is funny on stage, but then if you see them off stage, they're they can be quite dour. And you see that a bunch of times. And then there are these people that just, nope. You can sit next to them on an airplane. And my wife and I once got on an airplane, and someone behind us was like kind of heckling me and talking about, they'll let the Irish on this plane, and I guess they'll let any scum.
What airline was it?
Aer Lingus. That was the part that shocked me.
Yeah. Let's do this airline. It's like, welcome to the airline.
But it was sitting right behind us was Don Rickles.
Oh my God.
And Don Rickles was, then the whole flight, like cross country, was Don Rickles just peppering me with insults, but then telling great show business stories. And it was one of the highlights of my life, Oh
man. I watch his stuff on YouTube all the time. Him on Carson, him on all that stuff. Did you ever see the one where he's on Letterman with Denzel Washington next to him?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God. Do yourself a favor. It's so just that he was that age. He was really old. And when he would be on your show, he was hilarious. He's so fast.
He's so fast.
So insanely fast.
Also, he had this knowledge of, we all know there's this like weird line between music and comedy where somehow they're just things that sound funny and they work and you don't know why. And one of the things he discovered was someone would say something, he'd be like, that's right. Like almost as if to say, what do you want, a clap on the back? And you said, what do you want, a cookie?
Yeah, what do you want, a cookie? Or he said, David Letterman goes, Frank Sinatra's wife's name's Barbara, and your wife's name's Barbara, right? And he goes, what are you, a detective? And he goes, what's up with these, what kind of question is that? And he goes off on that question and just zeroes in on it. He's like, you make $1 billion a year, and you ask the most stupid question. And it's the best.
Drop your pants and fire a rocket.
Drop your pants, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. If you can find him with Dick Cavett in the early 70s, it's really, because Dick Cavett's trying to give it to him like, I like your act, but I always did like Jackie Leonard. You know what I mean? And he's like, oh, all right,
Yeah. Oh, you really want to?
Oh, you want to
really want to have
around?
a karate fight?
Yeah. It's like,
with
okay.
Bruce Lee.
It's like, all right, cool. And then it's fascinating to watch. If it's on YouTube, it's really interesting where you could just tell he has zero respect for him.